our environment vis-a-vis the climate change and the factors and the conditions there. Well, whether or not it has health implications as well, let's get to find out from a family medicine resident at Kolebu. Her name is Dr. Na Kowa Koka. I'm sure I got the Kowa. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I never knew, okay, probably I knew, but the specifics is what I don't know. I'm glad you're here today. Health implications of climate change. Have you met any? How dire are they? Talk to us about it.
Okay, so I believe we know we don't live in isolation. Once we are on this planet, we are not out of it. So everything that affects the planet affects us as individuals within the planet.
Right.
For my field of medicine, family medicine, we believe in the whole being.
Okay.
We believe in a biopsychosocial model, which means that for anybody, you are both influenced by what is outside of you, which is your suprasystem, and what's within you, which is your subsystem. So when you come to the organs, the systems and all that, that's within you. But everything else, the ecosystem, the stratosphere, atmosphere, everything is your suprasystem, and that affects you as well. And so with that, when we put that in context with what we are discussing, you realize that as the environment changes, as the climate changes, it has a lot of impact. It's commonest things you see. Hitherto, when hearing Ebola, when I was in medical school and we learned about Ebola, dengue fever, coronavirus and things, we thought, oh, this is very far away. It won't happen in our time. But now we are having it even more often than it used to happen in times past. We are seeing diarrheal diseases. We are seeing
Lassa fever.
Yes, exactly. All those were rare, or we lump them up as neglected tropical diseases, but they are now becoming very topical because of climate change. We are letting the balance in the ecosystem to deal with these things. There's now a disbalance, so they've now gotten more grounds to multiply and cause more problems, and so we are seeing more plagues, and we might see more if we don't change.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So I mean, most of the things we've seen today are as a result of how we've dealt with the environment.
Yes,
that's clear.
Yes.
All right. So what are the changes? Let's talk about the changes, because that's closer to us, just as you mentioned. What should we be doing, not policy-wise, but just in your homes, in your environment, in the society, real good?
I'm sure the EPA person mentioned, I mean, this morning, one of the reasons I struggled to get out, even just outside my door, there was almost a flood. Then coming through the traffic implications and all that. We are doing a lot to harm our environment, and that's causing that. When the rains set in, you see people coming out with their buckets of litter, dumping it in the waterway, and it gets to choke our waterways. When you are moving the traffic, it's because everybody wants to use a car. Averagely, maybe 2-3 cars in the home, one to take the kids to school, one to take the mom, one to take the dad. And we are all emitting carbon dioxide. And it's just, I mean, one of the worst, fluorocarbons and all those things that cause those effects to our ozone layer, destroying it and coming back like a vicious cycle. We are melting the ice poles. It's contributing to high water levels and all that. So from our own backyard, we can start by trying within our means to live planetary. So we should be friendly to the planet or our environment. We can reduce, as I said, like from your cars. If you can carpool, it doesn't mean you don't have, you can arrange. Today my car is fueled, let's use my car. Tomorrow someone's car. If we carpool, we reduce the number of cars on our roads. We reduce the carbon dioxide emission. If we look at the appliances we use at home, from our lighting, if we could go for the more what does EPA call it? electrical conservation, like the LED lights and all those things, the energy consumption is lower. Our fridges, they even rate them. When we are buying them, we should look at the stars and all that. It gives you an idea how much you are going to contribute to your environment.
Is it not
with
difficult, even in these times that there's enough information out there, yet the compliance to some of these things is a challenge, because those days, I don't know whether it's because of the numbers, truthfully, because maybe there were fewer people on the planet, and so we could do stuff quickly. People were quite conscious of the environment. Now there's information out there, but the compliance. Do you also get that?
It's more like survival of the fittest. Everybody is struggling to survive and all that. And
neglecting all of these.
Yes, and it's not about education or the lack of it, or we also think there's, I don't know whether the responsibility to take action, because we think someone should do it, not starting from us. But when we take the responsibility and start from our backyards, use energy saving things, try to sort out our waste in our the best way we can, so that the ones that are biodegradable, we find a way of letting them get back into the environment. That helps.
It's policy related.
But in your home, for example, I don't wait for government to tell me that, the waste I make from my kitchen, I can get some manure out of it.
Yeah, but what does it go to?
No, your own home.
Okay.
You know, we talk about domestic, what's the word? Domestication. Grow what you eat and all that. You try to build like your own backyard garden. But what are we doing? We are paving everywhere. When we pave everywhere,
when they are living in a rented apartment,
you could like, you know, the flower pots. We are planting flowers.
So landladies and landlords. I get that.
Yeah, but within your own means. There's sometimes that you can talk. You can talk to your landlady. I mean, most of the time we have flower pots, and we are growing flowers. Sometimes the flowers are not even blooming for us. But if we could do this in our own small, I learned some of these things. You could even use a bucket. You don't need to have the floor space. You can grow in buckets, in empty
socks.
Yes, empty water bottles, all those things.
Extremely well with that. Growing everything in his home, and he's connected a lot of. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. Sabute. I don't know how.
And in your own way, you would be recycling, because those empty water bottles could turn to, I mean, pots for growing plants, creeping plants, all those things, and you could harvest. And in the end, you could also contribute to food security, because if you are growing your own, you would not need to rely on everybody. And it actually, with all the climate change, you are talking about food security issues, and it comes with implications of malnutrition that affects everything. So on the health wise, our perspective, we're having to spend more on not just communicable diseases, non-communicable, now neglected tropical diseases are coming up. We have to deal with malnutrition and all that. And so the health bill would actually go up, and the effect on us is still, I mean, we'll still talk about paying more taxes. It comes back to us. So if we try to start something from our own corner, we'll end up benefiting in the long run. Health-wise, we are seeing a lot of things that we can't explain. We thought COVID is gone, but COVID is coming up again. Even though we think it's not here, it's starting the same way it started, and there are new things that keep coming up. So we should start taking responsibility. I think that's the bottom line of what God asked us to take dominion over the earth, and with that comes responsibility. We should make sure it's like the Garden of Eden we read about, very close to natural. We are trying to industrialize, and that's coming with a lot of emissions. We are destroying our ozone layer, we are destroying our environment. If we can try to go back, probably we'll win back some of the things we've lost and save our planet or our environment.
I see. So for you, you are all about domestication, ensuring that in your own small space, as a family unit, you try to protect your space, and then by extension, it happens with the other. I mean, but tell us in worst cases that you've seen around you, so that people out there who are watching will know that what I am doing is, so apart from throwing rubbish when it's raining, what else have you seen? What can we be doing so that we look at these real-time problems?
So our use of polythene bags, for example, is bad. I mean, you see a black polythene bag, and excuse me to say, it's not just containing things that are pleasurable,
I see.
or that, you know, and it won't degrade. So it's all going to contribute to the mess we are having. Elsewhere, we are promoting, or they are promoting paper bag use,
but that's
or
that's
even
not
recycling. Yeah, so no, in your own home, we still go to the market. They sell bags that you can use for marketing.
Okay.
You can use those bags over and over again, and refuse taking the polythene bags from the people who sell. Eventually, they would have excess. They might not use it, and then we would be saving that production line, sending that message across that they should try to change something. If you have a bag for shopping and you keep using it till, I mean, you can't use it again, you probably have saved yourself using hundreds of the black polythene bags.
Probably somebody would learn this. How do you then segment those things that you bought? So you have a bag for the entire thing, tomatoes, ginger, fish and all that. What do you put those particular foodstuffs in?
Some people carry like other bags from home.
Okay.
Some people have bowls they can put them in. So depending on what you are carrying, you can have those on you and then put them in. There are policy things, but there are small things we can do. So if you are buying something, you know, it's liquid that can be poured, you can do that. Cocoa, for example, people go buy Hausa cocoa and it's put in a polythene bag,
you know,
and then you have
carry
carry your own bowl and go for it, or your own is a flask, and then they serve you in it. If you are buying wache, you carry your own bowl, you get it in it. Or I mean, we've promoted the use of those takeaway packs, and they are the worst. They are not biodegradable. Even polythene bags seem to have a better effect on our environment than those materials.
I see.
And we used to use the what do you call it? The wache sellers had those leaves. Those leaves, I mean, they are biodegradable, but these days hygiene, has made us. So we need to revisit some of these things. We could work together, get them to understand that they need to clean it a bit more, and if they take responsibility, we are all going to do that together. I mean, we will help each other. We talk to each other. We negotiate with each other and know what's best for us.
How about we do this weekly? Make some time for TV Africa. So you come weekly, then we'll talk about these, because I feel that the more we drum home some of these homegrown policies,